Welcome to Above Deck, a below deck breakdown podcast. I'm Kelli Busby, former radio host and current volleyball mom, coming to you from my home studio in Columbus, Ohio. This week, I have a very special co-host, Alex P. Taylor from Below Deck. He is a former primary, TV personality, and also the Nacho King of Connecticut. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting. As a matter of fact, it's amazing.
Yes.
Do you love it?
I
Yeah.
love it. Well, we'll do
Okay.
that a lot more here in a little bit. So
Yes.
today we'll be discussing Below Deck Med Season 9, Episode 13, Chef Woes and Cabin Blows.
Here's your recap. The interior department remains in disarray as a near-fatal dish is served to a guest. Ooh. After the storm, the crew manages to fix the leak in the forward cabin, thank God. And we are left wondering who will sleep in there. Jono is called to the wheelhouse again. How many times can this happen? We'll see.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
And we didn't call him this time, so pretty
Yeah.
interesting. So Sarah started a new ranking system last week called How Many Shackles. So
Okay.
instead of stars, we're doing shackles. So I was thinking I'd probably give this episode a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I was thinking about this as well. And just for the mermaid theme alone, I'm going with a strong 7.5.
Okay.
Yes.
And your
I feel like
jacket just
that.
matches perfect.
Well,
I
yeah,
love it.
so you know what? I kind of matched up. I wanted to represent the drunken mermaid party, which we'll get to.
All right. Well, we pick up with the guests turning around to head back to the boat after decided they did not want to go out in the crazy rainstorm from the Medicane.
The Medicane, right? The Medicane. That's
Yeah,
great. I
so
love that.
bizarre, right? So,
Yes.
and the amount of rain was insane. So, so they're heading back to the boat.
So I would have been so bummed out, let me tell you, from my primary perspective, if we had lost out on our opportunity to do the chocolate factory tour that we
Oh,
had.
yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
just been so bummed. Also, to be docked, I mean, you know, when you plan this trip out, you hope
Yeah.
for the best with weather, but you never want that to happen. And it did. And I feel bad for them.
Yeah. And you know, the
Yeah.
worst part too, I think about being docked is the other boats are like right there. Like you could
Mhm.
touch each other.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
close.
being on the boat is cool and all,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you really do want that like water around you feeling. So
Yeah.
my heart goes out to that charter.
They did have the water around them, just in a different way, just
Yeah,
coming
with
from the
both.
sky.
Yeah, not the
Not the
same. Not
same.
the same. No, no.
So Ian is up in the ceiling of the forward cabin and he's trying to get this leak fixed. So go Ian. It's very exciting. He's being proactive. And Aesha gets to the bar area and it's a mess. Surprise, surprise. So she also consistently and again has to remind Ellie to put the white wine back in the fridge. Now, I thought white wine is supposed to live in the fridge, but is that standard or is that
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Chardonnay, Pinot
yeah,
Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc.
yeah,
All of those, yes, should be
yeah.
cold. Yeah.
And
So,
I mean, I know they're in Europe and Europeans say that Americans drink their white wines too cold and their red wines too
oh,
warm. So I don't know if
yeah.
that's a thing, but
Well, I know maybe they're not a fan of ice per se, but
oh, that's true.
cold wine
Yeah.
should be cold wine, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Captain Sandy tells the deck crew to clean out the forward cabin now that the leak has stopped. And after she leaves, Ian tells the others to go ahead and so he can have some downtime. Like, I know it's good to be the boss, heavy the head that wears the crown and all that jazz, but I'm not sure this was the best time to give that a try.
No, I don't think so. I mean, honestly, this guy's just looking to have a boxers kind of day. Like I just keep seeing him in his boxers everywhere. And good for him, but yeah, maybe take a step back and participate.
Yeah. Aesha decides to give the guests their wine tasting, but a la Aesha. So I think I could get behind her way of doing a tasting. So she starts reading all this stuff about the grapes where they're grown in rocky soil. And then she's like, you know what? Just taste it.
Yeah,
Tell me if you like it.
just
Perfect.
say exactly. I mean, I love Aisha's comedy. Like
Yeah.
that to me, like, so good, so funny all the
Yeah.
time. I think I saw something say she considers herself kind of like a mentality comedy wise of a 12-year-old boy sometimes, which I could totally see. But
Yeah.
I personally, if this had been the chocolate experience on the
Yeah.
boat, it would not have. I think it worked because it was alcohol.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
like chocolate,
Yeah.
not so much.
So Joe and Gail are in the crew mess, and Joe asks for Gail's advice on what to do about Ellie and Bree. And immediately I'm thinking, did he regret this? He had to regret this. It's a horrible idea to ask her this. So Gail tells him that he's been leading them both on so far. So he's sending mixed signals. And I agree. I mean,
Yeah, listen, I agree as well. I think I have a theory now at this
yeah.
point. I think Joe is kind of like a male siren. The version of a male siren is called a Triton. So he is just kind of calling to the girls and they are coming to him. And I'm going to nickname him moving forward
Yeah.
Joe the Triton. Joe the Triton. This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With those eyebrows, those are
Yeah. I mean,
that's
it's
his
part of
call.
his whole siren, call. Exactly. Joe the
You are
Triton.
onto something.
Listen, that's his nickname now. I'm sticking with it.
Joe the Triton. So hey
Yep.
Grace, when you're listening to this, we're gonna call this episode Joe the Triton.
I love it.
So Jono catches the primary and her hubby creeping around in the kitchen, and he said she's giving Jennifer Coolidge vibes, and his impersonation of her was spot on.
Yeah, so yes, 100% on that. But
Yeah.
the kitchen space to us was kind of off limits when we were on the St.
Oh,
David. So this is
yeah,
why I'm finding this season a little interesting because this is the second time that
yeah,
I've seen now. It was the first one with the other influencers that they had. I think that was the first charter, right?
yeah,
Where they
yeah.
were down helping out with grilled cheeses. And I could never imagine that happening on the St. David. Like that to me, if I was a chef, I'd say, listen, you're wasted. You shouldn't be anywhere near knives. This is dangerous
Right.
for you, dangerous for me. And
Yeah,
he's already on thin ice with Captain Sandy. So I wouldn't be like, haha, this is funny. I'd be like, okay, friends, you've got to exit stage left right now.
yeah, yeah. That's a scare. Like, I just feel like the kitchen should be off limits anyway, because there's a lot of
Ah,
things and sharp
yeah.
things and stuff.
I just couldn't imagine. Like they were like, nope. We
Yeah.
actually, I'll be honest with you though, at the last day before we left, they did take us on a tour
Oh,
of
did they?
behind the scenes. And it was
Oh,
like the last second of the trip. And so we
yeah.
did walk through the back rooms and the kitchen, and you could see like the orders on the chalkboard and all of the stuff that was the
Mm.
things we just ate. So it was interesting, but we were guided through that, not like
Yeah.
just showing rando.
Just willy nilly
Yeah,
roaming around.
exactly.
So I was thinking about it too, and I felt like this happened in the late night, but they were getting ready to go get ready for dinner. So it was
Mhm.
just, midday,
Yeah,
day drunk. Gotta love
I-
it.
listen, I personally did not get super wasted the first day.
First day.
I waited the next day, and there was a competition between Zach and I, who was my other charter guest,
Yeah.
and we did 21 shots of Fireball when we were
Oh,
the
oh,
second day. We started in the morning. We kept going at the waterfall that you actually didn't see because it didn't make the cut. But
oh.
we kept going until New Year's Eve, which was our dinner that second night. So
Mm,
that was definitely a fun night, but we figured
yeah.
things out. So, it was fun.
Oh, 21. Oh, 20.
21 shots of Fireball later, maybe more. Who
Which I
knows?
feel like
Yeah.
Goldschlager was our version of Fireball back in the
Yeah.
in
I
the
grew up
early
loving
2000s.
the hot tamales candy. So that's why I think I really do love Fireball so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super fun.
I love it. So it's time to get ready for dinner. And surprise, Brie cannot find her own black dress. Like, what in the world? Where are things going?
Okay. So I have a theory here.
Okay.
Stick with me. Okay.
All right.
Heard of the infamous mythological sock monster that
Yeah.
socks out of the laundry or the dryer? You've heard of this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, You know, there's got to be something going on with this boat, whether it is a chupacabra or Nathan brought on a leprechaun in his suitcase, but there is some shenanigans going on
Right.
the Mustique here, you know, and I also I'm gonna coin him the laundry monster, the
I
Mustique
like it.
laundry monster.
I love it. I wonder if it's one of the camera people. How funny would that be?
You know, it could be, but I think like going with a mythological character
I like
sounds
that
a lot
better.
more fun.
It's a
Laundry
lot more fun. And
monster it is.
it's probably more believable too, to be
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, I mean, or it could be, it really could be a leprechaun.
So it's dinner time, and the theme tonight is mermaid, and the costumes are great. And I think I'll just leave it like that. Like the costumes are great because yes, we'll just leave it like that.
Yeah, so this dinner was
Yeah.
definitely on theme with, I want to say, like our Christmas dinner because we were in costumes,
Yes.
we were doing fun things. And even what I'm wearing right now, just to kind of represent, is a
Yeah.
kind of a blue shimmer jacket, as my jacket collection has so many different things.
Yeah.
But I would say for the theme and the costumes, from that dinner party, definitely 10 shackles for that. I'll
Yeah.
say that. But I
Yeah.
also, you know, I want to say Barbie from my charter did such an amazing job. And she's like the queen of tablescapes. Like she did
Yeah.
Christmas, she did New Year's Eve. Um, but uh back to the Mustique here, I want to rename the episode given by Below Deck to
Yeah.
Drunken Mermaids, a night at the ballroom.
Ah!
And I think that kind of sums up what's going on. They're all having a ball, if you know what we mean. Come on. Do you love it?
The best. The
Right?
best. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. So Drunken Mermaids, the primary. She's not drunk. She is sloshed. Like
Right. Holy hell.
impressive.
Can we
Yeah.
say hell? Holy hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's an understatement because listen, I'm glad, like I said, I didn't get crazy on my first night because
Yeah.
I wanted to be a little bit more in control and know what was going on.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, fireball later for me the next day.
Oof.
Hmm.
I just couldn't imagine being out in the water and drinking and like the boat moving a little bit.
Well, they took us, you know, to that waterfall. So
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
actually like it was the ground was very uneven where we were. So I think they were
Yeah.
hoping we would have fell, but I didn't. I didn't.
And that's why I didn't make the cut.
That's why they were like, nobody fell, everybody was okay, forget it. Don't do the waterfall.
So, our mermaid night, of course, they're going to serve tuna. So, tuna carpaccio is for dinner, and it's put in front of the guest who is deathly allergic to raw fish. So, yeah. So, Sandy comes out to check on them, and the guest tells her that, hey, the plate in front of me could kill me. So, Sandy goes straight to the kitchen to tell Jono, and he is immediately defeated. And just can't believe that he made that mistake. So, he's been trying so hard, and the mistake, it could have been seriously deadly. So he comes up to talk to the guest and removes the plate. And I just thought, oh, Jono. Then I also thought, why didn't they take the plate away from her right away?
I thought of that immediately as well because
Yeah.
I've been a server for a long time. And if
Yeah.
someone ever said, like, I don't like this, it would never be like, hold on, let me get someone else to come take it away. I
Right.
would have immediately just pulled it. But I don't
Yeah.
think Aisha heard that. I think someone
Yeah.
else said it or somehow it got to them. So
Yeah.
maybe there was, you know, a little bit of production going in there a little bit. But
Yeah.
listen, I want to say this. If the primary that, you know, what's her name? Janie?
Think so. Yeah.
Okay. So that primary was wasted, right? Let's say she was the one who had the allergy. Do you
Oh
think
my
she would
gosh.
have even noticed that that was the food in front of her? Like
Mm-mm.
this whole thing could have been murder on the Mystique. Like seriously, like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of crazy because if someone was that wasted and
Yeah.
then had that plate put in front of them, they wouldn't have had a clue
Oh my
that that
gosh.
was the food they shouldn't
That
eat.
is so true. And how
Something to think
scary.
about. Something to think
Yeah.
about. You
Yeah.
know,
They just have to
scary.
make sure they're checking those orders before they go out for
Yeah,
sure.
scary though. That's scary.
So, obviously this was serious a serious offense. And in the green screens, Captain Sandy says it's fireable, like it, and as it should be. So I started thinking, is this the last charter for Jono?
I mean, this was pretty bad, like
Yeah.
really bad, actually. We'll
So
keep moving.
yeah, so Captain Sandy does what she does best. Well, one of the things that she does amazingly, she calls a friend of our show, Norma.
Oh,
The
really?
person Norma is a fabulous friend of our show, but
Oh,
she is always the one that Captain Sandy's calls when she needs staffing during the
somebody.
season.
Oh, wow.
Um, so she's like, Norma, I need a chef and I need one fast. So fingers crossed that she can work her magic. The guests go to bed, and guess what? Bree finds her dress.
The laundry monster is apparently forgiving at times. That's all I can say.
Yeah. The
That damn
next day,
laundry monster.
silly monsters.
Yes.
The next day, Sandy's on the phone with the owner of the Mustique, letting them know that they found and fixed the leak in the forward cabin, and is asking if she could bring on the fourth stew. And they said to go ahead. And she tells Aesha, and she is beyond excited. I'm excited. She
Um,
might actually get some help.
yeah, well, thank God.
Yeah.
She definitely needs the help. Like
Yeah.
100% needs the help.
Yeah. So this morning, Sandy notices that there's a change in the weather and there's a chance for them to get out of the marina. So she takes it.
Well, again, thank God,
Yeah.
because I mean, that makes me happy for this charter. Because
Yeah.
if they had been stuck the entire time at the dock, what a disappointment. Ugh,
Yeah.
that would have been awful. Again, I'm grateful for the experience I had,
Yeah.
but it could have weather could have really messed it up as well. So that's
Absolutely.
the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Ellie is now late for her shift and asks if, hey, can I get some breakfast first? And Aisha is not happy about that.
Well, so I met Ellie at the season
Oh,
11.
you did.
Yeah, at the season 11 last episode party, the finale.
Okay.
It was in West Palm Beach, and I think Ellie's great. Like, having met her in person and knowing her, we actually had some Diet Cokes together in these big plastic tumblers. It was super fun. Um, so I think if this was me in this case, I was late
Yeah.
and I showed up and still needed to eat, I would probably find a way to like sneak something instead of
Yeah.
like asking for it. And I
Yeah.
think, in some cases, it's always better to ask for forgiveness than permission. I think
Yeah.
that's a prime example of this right now. I probably would never have asked.
Yeah. I don't think so either. I probably
No,
would have had like,
I would just been like turkey bacon on the side somewhere,
right,
like,
right.
that's it. I screwed
Just
up. Done deal.
nosh as you go along.
Yeah. That's what I did when I was a server. So I hear you.
Yeah. Now, last week we saw Joe and Nathan talking about how they don't have shirts or it's they had the wrong shirts. And so this week they're missing shirts and now they're wearing the ones that they do have multiple times. Now they don't want to say anything because they don't want to get Bree in trouble, but it's starting to become a problem.
So I think this is very noble and very chivalrous of them to, you know, take one for the team and be like,
Yeah.
yes, we're gonna have some like yellow stained armpits and just kind of go with the stink of it. Like, let's bust out the cologne or whatever we need to. But at the end of the
Body spray.
but yeah, but like really at the end of the day, this damn laundry monster is causing a lot of problems for a lot of people.
Yes. I don't even know. Like that's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, wild.
So Ellie and Bree are cleaning one of the rooms, and the guest comes to use the room, so they leave quickly. And then Ellie's phone is found in the guest room by the guest, so it is given to Aesha. So Aisha's not at all happy with Ellie. And then, so this is my favorite part. She thinks she's being singled out by Aesha, and also that she's treating her like she's not wanted on the boat. But I
Right.
also have like the world's tiniest violin playing for her right now.
Yeah, so I want to say this was definitely a an oversight on her part, right? I personally, I have two phones, one's for like work, one's for personal. If I
Yeah.
ever didn't have my phones with me, it would feel like I lost an arm or something.
That's a really good
So
point.
I don't know how someone doesn't realize they don't have their phone with them. That's just me personally. Again,
Mm.
I'm relating it back to what if it was me? Would this have
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
happened this way? Because things happen sometimes, and that's life.
right.
But I would be lost without my phone. So I
Yeah.
would never have, I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
Like,
the guy did walk in abruptly, so maybe it was
yeah,
like a little bit of a surprise at
yeah,
that point.
yeah.
But
That's a good point. That's a good
yeah,
perspective on it. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I guess I didn't see why it was such a big deal, but
Oh,
then,
Aesha.
yeah. But,
Well,
and I think
I
Aisha's
mean,
just over it.
yeah, I think it's kind of like, again, I'll relate it back to like restaurant world or hospitality. Like if you ever saw your server or your bartender on their phone
Mm.
or
Yeah.
evidence of a phone, you probably would be like, that looks super unprofessional. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of where she's coming from, Aisha,
Yeah.
with this like, it's not a good look. It's not a
Yeah.
good look.
N-
Like I just said it that way, right? Just put it away, like I don't want to see your phone anymore. And I do get that. I think it's especially if you were out like texting, like nobody wants to see that at
No,
all, right?
no. The guests are enjoying their water toys in the slide. Would you ever do that? Did they have the slide out for you guys when you were there?
Yeah, so we had it all. We had all the bells and whistles. We had the slide. We had a water hoverboard. One of my charter mates, Tiffany, actually got stung by a jellyfish when she was in the water.
Oh
Um,
no.
yeah, it was kind of crazy. The remedy for that. I don't know if that was anything that happened, but we'll leave it
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah.
But also, I personally, for me, my request had been like kayaking. So I
Oh.
teamed up with a couple of the other crew, and we were
Uh-huh.
doing kayak races around the St. David, which was so much.
Fun.
Yeah, so it was me and Sunny in
Uh-huh.
one kayak, and I think it was Ben, and I can't even remember at this point, but like, yeah, we were
Yeah.
racing each other. I didn't win.
Oh, how
Yeah,
fun though.
yeah, it's good memory. Like I love having like those kinds of flashbacks when we're talking about things that I'm like, oh
Oh.
yeah, that did happen.
Nice. So it's dinner time and it's the 25th anniversary dinner. How exciting. Like that's an accomplishment.
Yeah,
25 years.
I can't even
Wow.
imagine.
No, thank you. Um, and the evening starts with fireworks that are set off from what looks like a tugboat or a fishing boat or something, but they're out in the water and it's just really
Yeah,
pretty. Just loved it.
it was.
Um, so they're having seafood, and guess what? Jono made sure that everything is cooked.
Yes. And okay, so it was a black and white theme party too, right?
Yes.
This is already cool. They have, get this, calamari and octopus.
Were you so excited?
You know how I feel about
I
octopus.
know.
They did not have octopus nachos, but they did have calamari and octopus. And, in some weird Twilight Zone parallel, this charter does remind me of my charter that we did.
Yeah.
Like they have those same kind of elements to like being
Yeah.
fun, dressing up, costumes, fun food. Um, and they also threw in some crab bruschetta. So you can't beat that. That was a fun little seafood extravaganza in a way.
Yeah. And the first and second courses went over very well with the guests, but then old Jono showed up. So dessert was a piece of chocolate sponge cake and a chocolate chip cookie and a scoop of vanilla ice cream with a caramel drizzle.
So the infamous Santa Claus cookie with ice
Yeah.
cream, party foul, party foul. Sorry,
Yeah. And the
Jody.
guests are hacked. They're so mad.
Yeah.
And the one sends hers back to the kitchen. And she's bummed because they all requested either chocolate souffles or creme brulees or just something more fun,
Well,
not just a cookie.
I agree. I agree with her. And here's, I'm going to give you some behind the scenes something from my trip as well that
Yeah.
I never told anybody. So this is like
Oh,
super top
this is the
secret.
tea.
This is the tea, which apparently will not be the tea anymore once I say it. Um, but for the dessert we had on the Seven Fishes night, I had asked for cannoli because that's like my favorite dessert. The one thing
Yeah.
that I did add to my sheet, my primary sheet, preference sheet, sorry, was, please just no chocolate chips in the cannoli. It ruins the cannoli. I hate chocolate chips in the cannoli. And guess what was in the cannoli?
Those chocolate chips.
Chocolate chips. And
Oh,
I just didn't have it in my heart at that point because the whole meal had been amazing. It
yeah.
still was a cannoli. Chef Nick was using the chocolate from the chocolate factory we had that
Oh,
day, right? So it was like full circle moment, but
yeah.
the chocolate chips threw me off, and I didn't want to ruin the vibe, the new chef, because we knew it was like his first charter,
That's
right?
right. That's
So
right.
we did not, I didn't say anything. And so, you heard it here first, true
Yeah.
story.
Oh,
I could have also had a cookie moment, but I
yeah.
refrained from kind of saying any, everybody else was happy too. So I took one
Yeah.
for the team.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, was it kind of tasty? Like, I feel like it would still be a bit tasty.
I mean, it was honestly like it was a good cannoli, but personally for me in my life, like I always just go for that classic ricotta cannoli with maybe
Yes.
some almond slivers on the side and some sprinkles on the other side. And I really do think like you put a crunch of a chocolate chip into a cannoli and it just changes everything. So,
That's a good point. Yeah.
I kind of worked around the chips and it is what it is. But I
Yeah.
still love you, Chef Nick. Not This is not a criticism. It was just what happened. And now everybody knows. The truth's out.
The truth is out.
Truth's out.
So meanwhile, the deck crew's all in the crew mess, and Ian tells everyone, "Okay, we're all gonna be back on the deck at 8 a.m. ready to go."
Yeah.
Shortly after that, he's in bed and he sends a text to their group text and he says, "I'll be getting up at 10 so he can meet his cumulative hours." I know there's like rules
Oh,
about that stuff, but bruh, come
yeah.
on.
He just needs more boxer time. This is what I and like honestly, it should just be him and his boxers. Like
Right.
this is the show. Yeah.
So the next day, Jono is going all out for breakfast and the guests are loving it.
All right, love the beignets. I've had beignets in New Orleans and I'm a foodie, so that would have
Yeah,
actually been such a highlight for me too.
they looked really tasty.
They
Yeah.
really did. They looked so good. They really did.
And the deck team's getting up too, and they're not happy because they're just now seeing the text from Ian. So Ian's having a Hurkle
Wait,
Durkle
okay,
while they're
wait.
cleaning up the entire boat.
What's a Hurkle Durkle?
Okay, so it's Scottish for like staying in bed,
Oh,
like having a lay
did,
in.
did you know that? Like that was something you grew up, that word you grew up with,
I
or?
heard it on the best resource for all information, Instagram. I heard somebody talking about it and I said, "Well, I'm the queen of Hurkle Durkle." So,
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna actually have to start using this word in my vocabulary.
yeah. And
After
then
this, I'm taking a Hurkle Durkle.
the lovely ladies from the Aft Deck podcast were
Yes.
talking to Kyle Stilley,
Oh,
who and he's
I
from
know Kyle.
Scotland, and they asked him if
Yeah.
he had ever heard of that. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I love a good Hurkle Durkle." My
Kyle,
tongue just doesn't work that way.
yeah, Kyle was great, by the way. He was a really nice guy.
Yeah, he seems awesome.
Yes.
So, as they do, the guests depart, and they mention that they barely remembered their first day on the boat.
You got to be kidding. They don't remember? Really? Come on. Oh my God.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
mean, I can't wait until she watches this back because the Choo Choo Lobster Train for me, like it was like definitely classic. Like she's gonna probably look back and be like, "Oh, the Choo Choo Lobster Train. I forgot about
Oh,
that."
she'll
Like,
never live that down. She's probably,
no.
oh no.
I think
Oh
we're
gosh.
coining a lot of terms today. The Choo Choo Lobster Train is right up there now.
I love it.
Yeah.
So Aisha shares the dessert debacle with Captain Sandy, and Jono gets called to the bridge before the tip meeting.
Not a surprise.
No.
No.
And so as he's coming up, Sandy gets a text from Norma that she's unable to find a chef right now, but she's trying. And so Sandy's stuck and she's kind of cursing under her breath as he's coming up to talk to her. So she can't fire him right now.
Jono, you got lucky. That's all I'm gonna
Very lucky.
say. You got really lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very lucky. So the tip was $25,000. That's $2,000 a person. That's
Yeah.
insane. And but I am always just so impressed with the crew when they are able to make it fun, even when they're stuck at the dock.
Yeah. No, I think that that was pretty amazing, having
Yeah.
bad weather and still getting such a great tip.
Yeah.
When I was on, we did 23. In hindsight, I think we should have done 25.
Wow.
But you live and you learn. So if I ever
Yeah.
were lucky enough to do this experience again, I think, I would be more
Yeah.
receptive to all of it.
Yeah.
Because you really do see so much that goes on and so much that doesn't go on when you're watching the show. So
Yeah.
I love it.
That's so neat though.
Yeah.
Um, so the new stew will be arriving today. And guess what? Joe is very excited. Joe, you need to calm down, my friend.
Joe the Triton strikes again. Watch out, ladies. Joe the Triton's coming for you. Beware. Beware his eyebrows.
In Ellie's green screen, she says, "Where is this coming from? Do we need another stew?" And I just wonder, like, is she flabbergasted? I mean, she's in a way just cannot believe this. And I said it last week, and I'll say it again. Are they all on the same boat?
Sometimes it be like that. People have their own agendas and have their own, perspectives on what's happening. And,
Yeah.
this is where communication comes into play. And apparently the lines of communication here are a little blurry, a little blurry. True.
So, all right. So here's Aisha's communication. She wants to do some musical rooms with the new stew coming on. So here's the plan. Ian's going to move to the forward cabin. Bree is going to move in with Jono. Gail's going to move back with Aesha. And the new stew will be with Ellie. And Aisha's a little worried about the last arrangement there with the new stew and Ellie because it could really just explode all over.
I mean, it could, but
Yeah.
also too, Ian gets all the boxer time he wants now, okay, with a solo cabin. Yay for Ian. So picture this, the most inspirational moment of the season. I can picture him dancing around the boat to murder on the dance floor, a la Saltburn, right? And he's just like having a great time, murder on the dance floor, in his boxers, because this is his life. This is what he
That's
does.
his life.
Yes. Yeah.
So the episode ends with the new stew walking on the dock toward the boat. And from what we can tell, she is a blonde. But that's about it.
Yeah. So here's the interesting things that I want to like kind of add into this is like, so this is our season's Paris has arrived.
Oh,
There's so
yeah.
many fun kind of analogies. Is that the word we use?
Yeah.
Like kind of similarities, really.
Yeah.
So let's talk about these similarities a little bit
Okay.
because here's the thing. So like Joe Triton is kind of like a Dylan with the good
I
looks,
thought you were going
kind
to
of
say a different word.
no, no, no. No, no, no. What? No, no. But then, the new girl is kind of like a Paris walking in at the last minute.
Yeah.
Uh Nathan to me could be a Kyle and
Okay.
Gail
Yeah.
could be a Barbie. So there's
Yeah,
like
that's
these
true.
really kind of like not per se like token characters, but
Yeah.
like there seems to be those elemental things going on that I'm beginning to see similarities to
Yeah.
so it's interesting. It's really it's interesting when you break it down a little bit like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited to meet our new Paris.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about her yet. I don't.
Well, then you're gonna be very happy about this because I just Googled her. Okay, so
Yay! Okay.
here's the info. This is the BD scoop. Who is
Okay.
Carrie O'Neill? So her name's
Oh,
Carrie O'Neill. She's a Scotland native, so another Hurkle Durkle. Is that the
yeah. There
another
you
Hurkle
go.
Durkle? Carrie has spent a whopping 10 years in the yachting industry, according to her official BravoTV.com bio. She loves
Okay.
snowboarding, horse riding, running, or anything high adrenaline related when she's not at work. She says, I like to socialize or head off on a long run. Pretty cool.
Hey, that's
We got
neat.
the scoop.
Well,
Carrie O'Neill. We're looking forward to meeting you.
I'm very excited. And welcome to the fun, Carrie.
Yeah.
All right. It's time for our segment, Acting with Aesha, where we attempt to say an Aesha quote like the Kiwi Queen herself.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Hello, Angel. Could you move your water down? You are having grilled lobster with a lemon garlic marinade.
Hello, Angel. Can you move your water? We're having grilled lobster with a garlic lemon marinade. What do you think?
It's so good.
Yeah, I love this. I love this segment. It's so much fun. I love talking like in accents. It's funny because I don't know if you do this or not, but when someone's talking to you in an accent, do you ever kind of like start picking it up a little bit?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So that's one of the things for me. I'm always like, oh God, I'm gonna have to stop talking like this because it's not my accent, but it's kind of a caring thing almost because you're trying to make the other person feel comfortable in your
Oh,
mind
yeah.
doing it. But
Yeah.
then you realize you're doing it and you're like, oh, I gotta stop. This could also be insulting at this point. You know what I mean? But this is
So
done in
funny.
love with such love.
Love. Love and affection. Absolutely. Because we love Aesha.
Where do I go from there?
Okay. Okay. Where do I go from here?
Okay. So I think you're getting better
I'm
from
getting better. I
you're
know. I'm
you're
so bad
getting
about it.
better. I have got to say you have made some leaps and bounds in terms of progress in this
Thank
part
you.
of the segment. Okay. I've been listening and I'd say Sarah, she's really gets it quickly.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
built as and by, also I can't believe there's only 2 charters left, but by the last charter, you're really gonna get it. I know it.
Well, I've been practicing saying deckhand. So
Dick hand.
deckhand.
I think she said something at some point. She's like, there's so many dicks, right? So many dicks on this boat. And I love it. I do. It's time for Hot Tub Convo, where we discuss what's happening with some of our favorite below deck cast members.
Adrienne Gang, the very first chief stew on Below Deck, recently got engaged. Her
I remember
boyfriend
her.
Al proposed at the vineyard with their dog Buddy. So congratulations, Adrienne.
She was the one who found the drugs, right?
Oh, I think
Right.
so.
And did they get kicked off of the boat because
Yes.
of what she found? And
Yeah.
Captain Lee was like, "We can't have that on the boat. There's no
Yeah.
way." They got ejected.
Yeah. Like immediately too.
That's kind of what I remember. Like I really was very hardcore into seasons 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, I remember that from there.
Yeah.
Moving forward, our
Uh-huh.
hearts go out here. The super
Hmm.
yacht Bayesian has been in the news lately. It sunk off the coast of Sicily after it was hit by a tornado. Several people died or are still missing, and 15 people were rescued. So
Oh,
that's the good part. Colin shared his IG stories that this sailboat is a sister ship to the Parsifal 3 from Below Deck Sailing Yacht.
yeah. That's
That's
really sad.
super sad. And moving to a more positive, I actually wanted to shout out to Barbie from
Yeah.
season 11, who has a birthday coming up this September.
Yeah.
Barbie and I became friends shortly after filming Wrapped, and she's really just such an amazing person. So happy birthday, Barbie.
Aw. Are you
And
going to her birthday party?
I am.
Are you?
I'm slated to attend the birthday party, which is coming up soon,
Yeah.
and I can't wait for that. And also, speaking of Below Deck cast members, I just was lucky enough to share some octopus nachos with
Yeah.
Captain Harry, who was visiting Connecticut last week.
Oh,
I'm in
wow.
Connecticut, so I met him and his girlfriend with my podcast co-host Meredith, and we actually did an interview with him for our new podcast, Reality Plus. Super fun.
That is so neat. He's great, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's so sweet.
he honestly he's the epitome of kindness. And
Yes.
I just look back at that season.
Yeah.
And when I saw him helping with bags and I saw him, his conversations he was having with the crew, it made me respect him even more.
Yeah.
And this is, also I had my personal conversations with him on the boat in the morning, and what
Yeah.
a great guy. Like honestly, such a great guy.
Yeah. We've had such great experiences with him when we met him at BravoCon. So the first year we went to BravoCon, nobody knew who Captain Carey was. We knew there was going to be a new branch of the
Adventure.
adventure.
Yeah.
And so we knew he was going to be that captain, but we knew, I mean, we got our picture taken with him, but we didn't know much about him. Then after watching Adventure, we fell in love with him because he's just fantastic. So I'm really grateful and excited that you guys got a chance to chat with him. He's just so fun.
And I mean, we had octopus nachos, so you can't beat that experience all over again.
Fraser and Daisy will be at the Sausalito Boat Show in California in October, and there will be a VIP meet and greet and cocktail reception for them. I want to go.
I do too. It's always great to see Fraser. I saw him last in New York City for the season premiere when we went down there, and he was super fun to hang out with, and what a great guy. Like, I feel like he was the one that I kind of maybe didn't talk to the most on the boat when we were there.
Yeah.
Some of the girls got more of his attention because they were just like, "Oh, Fraser, Fraser," you know. But when I hung out with him in New York, he definitely,
Yeah.
I feel like we got to know each other better. So super, he's a super cool guy, and I'm really, I think it's so cool that he has built in on this role, which is a typical, female role as a chief stew. And I love how it's breaking barriers, and breaking that yachting glass ceiling, if you will.
Yeah.
I think there's more of that, which people are going to see. So keep it up. We love you.
I love it.
And speaking of boat shows, are you guys going to the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show this fall? I know we kind of talked about it at one point. What were the dates?
We got our hotel room.
Oh, you're good. You're in.
Big stuff. And our plan is to go. We have put in a request for media passes, so we'll see if those play out.
Snap.
If not, we do plan to go. And if anything, it's kind of like becoming our tradition to go somewhere the end of October, beginning of November together. So
is that when it is? Do you remember the date?
Yeah, so it's the 31st. It's that weekend of
Halloween.
So like I think we get into town on the 31st, and then I think it starts that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of deal.
Oh my God. And do you know who's slated to be there? Like in terms
Not yet.
No. Okay.
No. So we kind of go with the book the hotel room, and then if we need to, we could cancel.
Meaning if
things fall through, or if it just doesn't look like it's beneficial, then we'll just
Well, I'm sure it's always good to I mean, I remember seeing videos or Instagram reels of you guys when you were at BravoCon. Which is why this is so funny. It's so full circle. I'm actually co-hosting this with you right now. Like, never in a million years would I have imagined seeing you guys at BravoCon in an Instagram reel, being a Below Deck fan, that we would be doing this together. So life is crazy, but
I love it.
Totally in it,
I love it.
So fun.
Yes.
Thank you.
So it's time for our segment, Join Me in the Wheelhouse, where we decide who needs to see Captain Sandy for a stern talking to. All right, Alex, this is your inaugural pick for the Wheelhouse. Who this week gets your vote?
I pick the laundry monster. I mean, this is getting out of hand on this boat. Like, we don't know who it is. Did you ever see the movie Taken? Do you know?
No, No, because I'm afraid to put my feet down on my own bed, like from the onto the floor.
No. So Taken was a movie where I think his daughter, played by Liam Neeson's daughter, got kidnapped.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, so he's like, in the movie, he said, I'm going to do this little quote right now. You ready for this?
Okay.
If you give back all the clothes you took now, that'll be the end of it. We will not look for you. We will not pursue you. But if you don't, we will look for you. We will find you, laundry monster, and we will throw you over the boat. And now, listen, if you rewatch this quote, and knowing how I kind of adapted it, you're going to die. You're going to die. We got you, laundry monster. Your days are numbered.
I love it. Get up here, laundry monster.
Yeah, listen, he's gonna get caught. Like, there's gonna be some camera, there's gonna be something that picks him up, and it's gonna be like crossing over the bridge to Narnia, and they're gonna be
Right.
like, look, we found the laundry monster on Below Deck Med. And that, my friend, is going to be the most magical season finale we have ever seen.
It'll be amazing.
I
I,
can't
I
wait.
think you just wrapped it up. I think you just gave all the spoilers away for the end of the
Listen,
season. You just put a nice big bow on it.
listen, if this is actually what happens, then you know what? Um, call me up, 51 Minds. I got you. I can help you.
That's right. Well,
Yeah.
that's it for this week's episode of Above Deck. Thank you to our team at Hurrdat Media, especially our incredible producer, Grace. Please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to tell a friend to please rate and review us at 5 stars only. You can also follow us on Instagram at Above Deck Pod or email us at abovedeckpod@gmail.com. And you can watch our episodes on the Hurrdat Media YouTube channel. So, Alex, thank you so much for joining me this week. It's been fun, and I'm sad it's over.
Listen, you know what? In life, I often say this: I'm sad it's over, but happy it happened. And we had a
Absolutely.
blast. And we also wish Sarah, who is out on her vacation right now, hope she's having a great time, and she'll be back next week. So thank you for having me for this one. What an incredible experience it was.
Thanks so much.